But at the end of the day, I think it's pretty clear to say that more than half of the world currently doesn't believe in the global order that we've become addicted to. And the Munich Security Conference tries to do its part in, trying to figure out why that is the case. I think they have a frustration in common. They have a legitimate concern in common that the global order does not work for them, in fact, structurally disadvantages them. First of all, this rules-based international order that we all love, most of them weren't independent when the rules were made. Second, the rules don't work for them. Look at our double standards. Why do we treat, the ICC verdict against Putin differently from the one against Netanyahu? Why do we treat the war in Ukraine different from the war in Tigray? But the point is, we are not very good at explaining them, and we are not very good at taking them along, and we believe we need to get a lot better at taking them along.
It is a genuine grievance against how, A, the rules have been framed, B, how they have been implemented, and C, who has been given exemptions from following those rules. We have a problem. We have to first admit that the rules that were framed have served them well. 500 million in the Atlantic system, that is the Americans and some Europeans, and 500 million collateral beneficiaries, some in China, some in India, some in other parts of the world. But basically it has served a billion elite of the world well, and it has not served the next 7.5 billion. Those next 7.5 billion are now demanding a reset. Now either you allow for that reset and have a new conversation, for example, the G20, which has now become a more important body than the G7, for example. I'm just giving you one of the examples where a much larger constellation of actors are speaking. Or create new institutions where one country, one vote becomes the norm. But you cannot have the victors of World War II and the colonial powers of that era define our lives. For me, the UN Security Council represents the continuation of a colonial project. Colonial powers and their allies are still the ones who sit on that particular council. And for me, that is exactly the council that needs to be demolished if a new world order and new rules need to emerge.